Hello everyone, welcome back to Casa de Mayos. This is part 2 of the DIY storage shed build. In this video we're going to complete the project by building the remainder of the shed as seen here. Welcome to our channel. So upon opening this box, you're instantly met with an amalgam of metal frames and you don't know what's what. So what we have to do here is take them all out and sort them out in order. But no need to worry because you're provided with 3 instruction booklets. One is in English, one in Le Français, and one in Espanol. So we're going to stick to the English one for now and follow the instructions there. To get the base built, we have to assemble 4 frames. This one here is the front entrance frame, and there's another one similar to this one towards the back. Now, we do encounter our first problem here as we're building these frames because, as you can see here in the video, most of the holes are not aligning. So I don't know if this was the damage caused by the delivery or the metal frames were already bent inside the box because most of them seem to be bent. So we tried it all different ways. We moved them around, back, forward, upside down, and all that. And we still managed to not be able to align most of these holes. And we're going to continue experiencing this through the rest of the video. So most of these screws, I do have to make extra adjustments to them or align them in a different way. So we finished building the bottom frames. From there, we moved on to the middle supports, which are the ones you just saw. And now I'm building the roof support structure. So 2 of these are going to be single and one's going to be doubled up. After that, we go ahead and move on and we start building the door track, which will assist the doors in opening and closing. What the instruction has you do is build all the frames pretty much first, and then you can begin assembling, which is what we're doing here. I apologize I wasn't able to film because we were busy trying to assemble the structure together. Most of these pieces are a little bit flimsy. They're very thin aluminum or metal. First, you have to set the base, the bottom floor base, and square that off. Once it's squared, it has you begin installing the sidewalls on the corner, which are the ones that you see up on the video. But there's no structure yet. You still don't have the middle ones installed and you don't have the top ones installed. So make sure that if you are building this, it's not a windy day because you will have some trouble trying to keep these upright. So if you need to hold them or you need an assistant, it'd be best if you have somebody helping you out. Once you have the four corners set up, you go ahead and proceed and you begin installing the middle support structures. Once the middle is assembled, you're able to install the thinner ones up at the top and the door track assembly at the front. In day 4, we begin by assembling the rest of the walls, completing the wall portion of the building. And the instructions from here have you begin assembling the roof gable, and we're going to install the roof support beams as well. Again, this is best if you have an assistant or somebody helping you out, because once the gable is assembled, you've completed the assembly, it has you screw it onto the top portion of the wall structure here. So once this is installed, this gable is hanging there by itself while you install the one at the rear of the building. So momentarily, both gables will pretty much just be loose, hanging up at the top of the building. Once the two gables are installed, you're able to add a little bit more support by installing the first roof beam, which goes from front to back. And even with two of us working on it, we managed to drop the single roof beam, the first one that we set up here. And you can see it's slightly bent, slightly damaged, so that's probably going to take an effect later on when installing the roof. So we managed to add a little bit more dents to it than it already had. Then you have to repeat the same process again for the other side, installing one gable at a time, setting up the second single roof beam, and putting them together by joining them with a gable brace and a doubled up roof beam. We continue our storage shed build on day 5 by assembling the roof together. The instructions have you start at the rear of the building by installing some of the rear panels. Those are specifically labeled because that's what's going to set off the beginning of the installation of the rest of the roofing. And to install the roof panels to the building, you keep on using the same screws that you were provided and the same ones you've been using so far, which are the extremely tiny screws, and sometimes it's difficult to get some of these in. You're also provided with a couple rolls of weather stripping. So for the peak portion of the roof, you're supposed to bring the whole weather strip all together continuously. And for the ridge lines, you're supposed to cut smaller strips and cover each portion accordingly. Also, you're supposed to install the ridge caps as you're moving along the roof. Go ahead and do this all together while you're moving, because if you wait towards the end, it's going to be a lot more difficult to add each one. Once you reach the front of the building, you're able to attach the roof to the gables that are both in the front and the back. From here, we had to complete the roof by installing the bottom portion of the roof panels to the top portion of the wall. You'll see here on the video that some of these screws didn't align too perfectly with the pre-manufactured holes. So what we did is we go ahead and screw them in right next to where it should have gone. Finally, you go ahead and install the roof trim and you should be done with the roof. So there you have it. That's the completed shed right there. We took some of the leftover wood that we had for the floor and we made this makeshift ramp. So this will work for now. This project took us approximately 26 hours to complete since we worked on it on and off after work and during the weekends. For more information on materials and items used, check the description down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for future videos.